Yoga is not a physical posture. Yoga is what happens when all else stops to happen. Yoga happens when we stop, when mind stops, when we rise and meet our source. Yoga happens. Yoga, or that state, has many ways of reaching it. Many. And in those many ways, you will also find branches. One such way is bhakti. Bhakti kya hai? What is bhakti? Devotion, sadhana, spiritual practice. To be devoted. What happens when you become a parent? That connection you have to your child, what is it? It is one of devotion. How do you feel about those that you are completely committed to? No matter what, we are devoted. What was the nature of the relationship between Radha and Krishna? Bhakti, devotion. One such devotion is Prem Bhakti, the bhakti of love. In a way, our entire experience is about returning to the state of that love through bhakti, through a devotion to our very own nature, which is love. Practically, what do we mean by bhakti and devotion? And what can it do for us? Is there a path of bhakti that is going to lead to Shakti, that is going to lead to the rising of the human in the rising of the snake? Yes. When we are completely and utterly devoted, so much so, you may have a guru, you may have a teacher, right? You may have a deity, right? It could be Mataji, it could be Shiva, it could be Hanuman, it could be that you feel you are drawn to being a star seed, an indigo child, a Pleiadian. There are so many ways. And in all of this, you feel an awakening of a love that not only awakens the love that you are, right? But you are so driven that you'll stop at nothing and follow the orders of the preceptor, in this case being that which you are devoted towards. Bhakti is an essential part of our journey back home, our journey into the source of us, into the rising of the human. One way for us to come to terms with and to balance a Kundalini, if you have watched that series, is to adopt the way of bhakti. On one hand, we have jnana, which is knowledge, wisdom. On the other hand, we have bhakti. The two must go hand in hand. So as we start to unfold our awakening, what comes? Wisdom. Alongside wisdom, what else arrives? Love. Not only are you realizing that you are love, but you start to feel the love all around you. You start to become more and more compassion, right? You start to become more and more love. You start to become more and more kindness incarnate. All of these things are not things that need to be taught or that you need to strive towards, but you become a state of service. You become a state of love. You become a state of gratitude, a state of compassion, a state of constant bhakti. Bhakti means Shakti. In Bhakti is the power, is the force, is the life force, right? So, when we are devoted to anything outside of us, that devotion yields an inner devotion that substantiates our humanness, our human existence, right? And acts out the love that we are by tearing any walls that we have built of separation between I and you, between I and we. So anybody walking this path of bhakti, anyone walking the path of jnana, anyone walking the path of an awakening becomes an embodiment of the divine, becomes a walking temple. We are all walking temples. Obviously, I don't mean a temple that you are a temple with a Hindu or a this or a that deity, not at all. But you are a beautiful home that has in it the light. So you have awakened the lighthouse within you, right? There is no lighthouse outside of you, but you are the harbinger of light. You've done your work. Now you're clean. Your slate has been wiped clean. And now your service begins to all those around you, just by being you. That is your bhakti now. So much love. Stay tuned for more.